Welcome back to the third installment of this tutorial. Right now I have torched the ends of my 20 gauge wire, and I'm going to start us off with a little curl up here at the top. I want the curl to be facing inward right now. Once I've made my little curl, I'm going to hold it up against the net to see exactly how it fits and where I want my next little loop. And I'm using my round nose pliers to make that top loop. You can hold it up against the netting periodically to see what it looks like and adjust it as you need to. For this next part, I'm going to make a series of loops on the side going down. And I can use my fingers and my round nose pliers to tighten them up and keep them looking nice and round. I'm going to be putting my crystal in the middle one, so keep that in mind when you're making its size. I can see that this one needs to be curved a bit more to stay on the inside of the edges. Like before, I'm going to use my round nose pliers to tighten up that curl and curve the working wire over and down. We're going to be making a big loop down here that we're going to be setting our large crystal in. Keep checking its fit to make sure that you get it the way you want. I'm using my finger as a guide here now because I want the loop to be large enough for the crystal to sit into. I'm going to check real quick to make sure that it holds the stone nice and well. And I like it, so we're going to keep on going. I'm going to finish our element here by taking this last little piece and curling it inward again so that it sits underneath the first curl. And now that our element is finished, we're going to be tying it down with the extra piece of wire that we have on the back. I was just playing with my stones to make sure that I gave them enough room and that I liked the setting. Just like last time with the gold, we're going to be using our 28 gauge, our excess here, and we're going to start it there at the top loop. I'm going to stick the point of my 28 gauge through one of the netting holes, just like so, and carefully pull it through to the front. And making sure that it's nice and snug, we're going to sew it down and take our point and put it back through the netting on the other side of the wire loop. We just made our first little bind. Now we're going to go through randomly throughout the rest of it. I like to go down the side, and we're going to sew each little loop on to make sure that it's nice and strong and that our element isn't going to move and isn't going to be coming off. Once you get to the big loop, we're going to go around it 2 times. That way we have plenty of texture on the loop for the glue to hold on to. I don't have any exact direction that I do this. I just kind of go around it a couple of times in different areas. That way I know it's held down really well and I've got lots of wire pieces spaced out for the epoxy to hold on to and the stone to set on. When you're done weaving down the circle, you're going to work your way back up the art element. You're going to bind down this last piece, and then I like to hook the 2 swirls together so that I know neither of them are going to come up. I'm finding one last place to bind my wire, and then I'm going to take it to the back and I'm going to find a little area, a little 28 gauge where I can wrap it and tie it off. I'm going to wrap it around this little loop right here. Gently pull it nice and snug. I use my thumb as a guide to help keep it stable. Now that I've wrapped it 3 or 4 times, we're going to trim with our cutters very close and try not to get any of the other wires. And then we're going to gently pinch it down with our chain nose pliers, just like before. And that's it as far as adding the elements. I'm going to size up my stones right now and just kind of get an idea of how I want them to be placed, making sure that they're level. Before we epoxy the stones, I'm going to darken them with a patina and give them a bright polish, and I'm going to tumble them and work harden them. Now that they have been patinaed and polished and work hardened in the tumbler, I'm ready to epoxy my stones on. I used a moist paper towel to gently polish the crystals and get all of my nasty little fingerprints off of all of them, because I think that's going to help the glue stay on better. And I have a lid for my glue and my little safety pin to spread my glue out. But before we glue them down, I am going to add the ear wires now. That way I can set everything aside for 24 hours to let the epoxy fully harden. Just like with any ear wires, you're going to use your chain nose pliers, open up the opening sideways on the earring, and place your earring on, and then gently close it. You want to be careful because these can be work hardened very quickly, and you do not want to fracture your ear wires. Once it's nice and flush and tight, I'm going to move on to the next earring. And now that we have a pair, let's go ahead and epoxy our stones on. I'm going to use the end of my safety pin to pick up globs, and I'm going to try and get all of the threads of glue off if I can. And I'm just going to spread this glue around on my big loop. I'm going to get a nice amount on so that the stone can settle down into the epoxy and set itself up well overnight. Do your best to get the threads off if you can. I was able to get most of them, but I did get a few on the piece, but I'm able to clean them up pretty easily with my thumb. Now I'm going to take my 12mm Swarovski and gently place it down into the glue on the circle. And I'm going to adjust it as I need to make sure that it's facing the direction that I want and that one side isn't higher than the other. Once you've got it where you like it, we're going to take our safety pin and put more epoxy into the center circle where we're going to put our small round crystal. Just like before, try and get the threads of glue off. And I'm just putting a big old glob in here to drop the crystal into. And now I'm just gonna mess with it and make sure it's level, like I said earlier, and that I've got it where I like it. Tap it down a little bit, and I'm pretty happy with this, guys. It's got to dry for 24 hours, or cure, sorry, it's epoxy. It has to cure for 24 hours. And now I'm going to repeat the same on the other earring. Let them cure for 24 hours and you guys have your holiday glamorous earrings to go out with. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share my videos.